Well, let's bring in Omar Shakir. He is the Israel and Palestine Director at Human Rights Watch, and he's joining us live from Chicago. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Shakir. I believe that you could hear that interview with Dr. Mokalalati in Shifa Hospital. What do you make of what is happening in Gaza's largest hospital?
It's just unfathomable to be seeing a situation in which Gaza's hospitals are under such sustained, systematic assault. Hospitals have special protections under international humanitarian law. Doctors, patients, nurses, ambulances must be protected and allowed to do their work under all circumstances. I can't imagine the situation that doctors are under given the number of injuries they're dealing with, operating without fuel, so without electricity, without water, without medical supplies. You're having a situation in these hospitals now where, bodies of patients who have died as a result of the Israeli blockade are not able to be properly buried. These are all acts that are unlawful under international humanitarian law. To impose collective punishment on the civilian population, to block life-saving aid, unlawful strikes on hospitals, all raise significant concern, and there's really grave concern what might happen in hours ahead.
Absolutely, not just not permitted under international law, but are indeed war crimes under international law. We heard from the Israeli military spokesperson on Saturday night, and he said that hospitals in Gaza are legitimate targets and that Hamas has made them legitimate targets because they carry out operations from these hospitals, from these medical facilities. Your organization has recently said that you have not been able to corroborate Israel's claims that Hamas uses these hospitals.
That's correct. The Israeli government has put forward no evidence that would justify stripping hospitals of the special protections they have under international humanitarian law. And even if the Israeli government's evidence was accurate, and again, we haven't seen evidence that would support that, international humanitarian law also only allows attacking hospitals if room is made for safe evacuation. And the reality here is there is no safe place to go in Gaza and no reliably secure way to get anywhere. So that means that even if one accepts the Israeli government's evidence as face value, it wouldn't justify attacking a hospital because of the need to protect patients, doctors, and others.
And that's I know something that Human Rights Watch has also said. No evidence put forward would justify depriving hospitals, ambulances of their protected status.
Absolutely. And I think it's, again, worth noting that even if you evacuate people and even if you can meet the high threshold to attack hospitals under international humanitarian law, hospitals cannot be a free fire zone. The people who are not able or choose not to flee retain the protections of international humanitarian law against disproportionate, indiscriminate attacks. And again, it's important to note that the risk of disproportionate attacks are heightened at hospitals because even a relatively minor attack could have life-altering consequences for the treatment of patients. All these things put together point a very grim picture. Unlawful attacks, weeks without electricity, without food, without medical supplies. Lives are being lost by the minute, and the world really needs to act to prevent further mass atrocities.
That is the Israel and Palestine Director at Human Rights Watch, Omar Shakir, joining us live from Chicago. Thank you very much for your time on this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.